Good evening. First off, sorry to Gwen and Mimi for YouTube backwards. Mimi had asked me about the salary thing. Apologize for that. As soon as Gwen. However, Gwen had followed up her correction of my mistake with, let's see, calling me an agency employee. I'm not quite sure that term, but essentially, I am an employee of the band. I do get paid directly by the band. It's seasonal. That's probably the best way to think of like a most roadies work. It's like seasonal work. So we work when we're there, and when we have to do. We don't work when we have to do. As far as the tax write-offs, yes, it's all about, like really anybody in the U.S., every little receipt helps. But I do get paid directly for the band. I'm an employee of Def Leppard. I actually, have my taxes taken out, all that fun jazz. If I get hurt on the job, I'm covered by, L&I and all that stuff, now that I'm hurt in the job, because I don't really want to hurt in the job. Can't really afford it. So I'm an employee of the band. And then you also asked about, or you mentioned being surprised, but we don't pack a lighter for overseas. We actually do pack lighter for overseas. If you think our U.S. tours were about 10 trucks, I think we had 12 trucks last summer, one Poison truck, one Tesla truck, and then 10 Leopard. So we actually do pack considerably lighter when we go overseas. And speaking of that, my day today was prepping for tomorrow morning, which we're packing our sea container tomorrow morning. A little nerve-wracking. We had myself, Wolfie, which is Viv's Tech, and we had Tish, who is our wardrobe person who flew in. So the three of us basically spent the entire day lining up every case, trying to figure out how to cram this massive amount of gear into a very small space. And sea containers are pretty, damn small. So we've got, I want to say I'm pretty sure we're good. I spent the entire day out with a tape measure, double checking, triple checking my measurements, and I think we've got about 3 to 6 inches total spare, depending on how the straps line up, in a 40-foot sea container, and that's floor to ceiling. We stacked stuff that we never stack. Wolfie was building wood blocks and the wheel donuts for the casters pretty much all day long, and we've got stuff stacked floor to ceiling with maybe about an inch to spare at the top, which is really, really tight sea container. I already called our production manager, told him that we absolutely have to have a forklift on the other side, because there's no way in hell to get this stuff down without breaking gear or breaking half the crew. So it should be pretty interesting tomorrow. I'm really hoping it messes up, because if I did, we'll have to unload half the truck or half the container to see what we can get rid of. Which really, there's really not much we can do without. So it's pretty interesting, pretty tight tomorrow. But once again, what's in a 40-foot sea container versus 10 53-foot trucks? That's not too bad. Steve Kelly had asked about our set lists and want to know as far as how much leeway we had for the band called Audibles. For those of you guys who don't know, Audibles when the band will call out a song last minute, like maybe my glasses will bug my nose today, so I got a sore spot. Gotta get new glasses. But my nose isn't itching though, so we'll go with that. Anyway, so in Audibles, when a band calls out a song last minute, sometimes it'll be for encore. Sometimes the crowd will shout a song, the band play it. Springsteen is known for doing that. Pearl Jam will do crazy sets. Leopard Show does not do audibles. I think I've had that maybe twice since I've been here, and I'm coming up on year 6, coming to 7, for the band changing the set list last minute. The reason being is, several reasons. One, all the actual controls of the instruments on stage, as far as it sounds, are done by the crew. So if you look on deck, the only pedals on deck, Viv's got some wah pedals out, and Sav has basically a keyboard style pedal, so he plays like the bass notes. That's it. There's no pedal switching. So all the backline guys do all the tone switching. That includes me. So I do I have all the the tempo changes for the clicks. I do all the kit changes for Rick. Wolfie does all the guitar changes, all the tone changes for Viv. So Viv just plays. Wolfie turns things on and off, acoustic, electric, all kind of stuff. Same with Phil and Scotty and Raj for Sav. In order to do like an audible with our act, all the backline guys have to be in the right patch. Not only that, but the monitor guy have to be in the right queue. The front of house guy have to be in the right queue, as well as the LD and the video director, because we have a lot of cues going on in all these songs. We'll take My World as an example here. So I've got 22 somewhat outputs that are drums. Now some are always live. The overhead mics, the hi-hat mics are always live, but the actual kit itself is, I think we're using currently 11 outputs, I believe, 11 trigger outputs. I think that's about right. My DJI Osmo is about to shut off here, so if it goes wonky for a second, that's why. So I've got these outputs now. Some things will be used, some things aren't. So we'll say like a song like "Rock On," there's different kicks in the verses versus different kicks in the choruses, or first half of the song for second half of the song. Some of those channels aren't being used in other songs. So the house guy, if he's doing going through like calling up scenes in the console, because old digital consoles when you save scenes. If he doesn't pull that scene up, one of those channels might be muted. It might not be active. So he has to know what song is coming up. The monitor has the same thing. He has cues built in for gain up, gain down, reverb cues, all that kind of stuff. That has to be called at the right time. Not just the fact that I have to have my stuff done right. And then you throw all the guitar players. Certain guitars are for certain songs. Now, like every band, there's some things that like guitar changes or bass changes will be done for a visual look. For the most part you get away with a couple, but you want to change things up. It looks cool for the crowd. It's more fun for the guy on stage. He wants, let's play this guitar this song. But there's some guitars that are literally like have to be there for certain songs. In Viv's world, he's got a couple guitars that are modded to have a piezo output in the bridge, and then actual humbucking, the normal magnetic output. In a song like Hysteria, where it goes from, and Foolin' did that as well, where it goes from a clean sound to a dirty sound. Well, the clean sound's actually a piezo that's being running through a processor to give kind of a bit of acoustic sound to it. So to play Hysteria, he has to have that guitar on stage. Same with Foolin', or the guitar's backup, back guitars. So Wolfie has to know, I have to have that song to him, set up. In addition to that guitar has two outputs off of it that has to be set up on his rack. But you guys get it. It's a little more difficult for Leopard to go pull audibles. Now that does happen occasionally, but it's really, really rare. The other thing is with the Leopard show, for you guys who go to see the shows, it's got a flow to it, and these guys work on that. They really work on making sure that one song goes into the other with a good little space for the crowd, give every chance to breathe a little bit. Guitar change, get the next song. I often say with the difference between like a really pro band and a really, really good live act and a not so good live act is the good live acts, they practice the endings of songs, how to go one into another, because it really, it's like seeing a play or something. You really, or watch a good movie. You want to have that that hill and the valley and the hill and the valley. You don't want to go from like one song and just stop abruptly and then wave through that. One of the worst live acts I've ever seen in my entire life, I saw in Seattle, and I don't need to say the band, because they're a really good band in the studio, but they played a 3-minute song and then sat on stage for 3 minutes while there was some guitar changes going on, some tuning. The singer would smoke a cigarette, not interacting with the crowd, just kind of standing there, and then do a song, and then do that again. And it was the most like disjointed thing. Like the songs were great, but the flow of the show was crap. And there wasn't like that really good energy and that Yeah, I mean, just the energy, the flow. With the Leopard Show, they really, those guys are sure about it. I mean, they've been on stage for 40 years now. Like, I mean, they know what they're doing when it comes to like to bring it to the crowd. But part of that is you don't want to throw audibles because you don't want to have you don't want to find out that everybody in the crew found out you're doing that except for that except for me. And suddenly Rick pulls up the wrong kit, and he's going, I'm expecting you to have a good. I'm expecting to play like a good bass kit, like kick, snare, rack, tom, and I queued up slang, which is all loops. That would be a very, very bad thing. So that's why we don't do audibles. Now, the set list I'm sure will be different next year. I sure as hell hope so. You mentioned High and Dry. I love that album, and I would love to see the band do a bunch of deep cuts off that record. I'm one of those guys. I want to hear all the old songs, all the rarities, the B-sides, and a lot of super fans. That's what they want as well. But it's that thing of when you've done Hysteria and Pyromania, you've got 12 songs you have to play. Because if you didn't play Sugar or Rock of Ages or Photograph or Armageddon or Animal, the crowd would be pissed. And hell, I'd be pissed if I didn't hear one of those songs. I hear them every night. I still love hearing those songs. But it does makes the set list a little more harder to play with. At least that's my opinion on the matter. Sav can override me on that because Sav does a set list and he knows much more about this than I do, and it's much better at than I do, obviously, because he makes a living at it, and I just make my living making sure that he can do what he does. But we'll see it next year. Hopefully there'll be some more plays. I've been rambling on for a good 12 minutes now. I am super, super tired. This day kicked my ass. Just the stress of trying to figure out all this stuff. And maybe I'll show you guys maybe a photo or two tomorrow of our container pack. But it is literally floor to ceiling, front to back, of a 40-foot by 7-foot 8-inch by 8-foot 5-inch high container of just credit card slot type pack, and it's a bit much for somebody like myself who's used to having a little more playroom. But anyways, I'm gonna get this posted, get some sleep, because I have an early morning, because we're loading early in the morning, so I need to get up early and get myself put together and all that fun jazz. And I shall see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully after tomorrow I will be a little more relaxed and can do some more fun stuff and give you guys a little more than just me sitting in front of my funky backdrop of, I'm pretty sure it's Nagoya. If I looked at my Lightroom catalog and figure out what town that is, I'm pretty sure that's actually Nagoya, Japan. I really do like that thing. For as messy as that looks back there, I really like that backdrop. Anyways, enough of that. I should see you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot.